Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Press. We are reaching you live from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now, phone lines are open. You can call in to make your contributions or ask your questions. And remember, you only have 60 seconds to every caller. Turn down the volume of your TV set or move away from it so we can hear you loud and clear. Our analyst on the show this morning is Dr. Solomon Onuhi. He is public affairs analyst. It's good to have you on the show today again.
Thank you, Samuel.
Oh, so sorry. Samuel. Oh no, so sorry about that. Okay. All right, so welcome again. Now let's talk about finally, after over 3 days to the elections that was held in 25th and 26th, and in fact some parts said even 27 they were still conducting the election, they were still collating, and then still up until yesterday at 4:10 a.m. finally the results were announced. What's your first reaction to that?
Yeah, I want to congratulate every one of us for being alive and to thank God for everything. The most important thing is, for everything there is a season. At least history is writing itself. But one thing I want to quickly say is that fair is full and full is fair. There's a pre-election period, there's during and after. Now we are somewhere. So we are not static. But the reactions has always been that who would win. Until early hours of today, we were told that Baba Tinubu won. So congratulations to him and to every Nigerian that is alive until now. What happened is that there were so many mixed reactions, just like any other person, that this person will win, this person will not win, based on whatever reasons. And so many people have their reasons for stating their reasons. But one thing is sure, that whatever reasons there might be, in every electoral processes, there must be a loser and as well a winner. So somebody must win. And that's why we come into the emergence of the person that won today.
All right, so did you actually see this coming? President-elect Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu, with all that happened during the elections?
I was once an athlete when I was much younger, and I was just feeling, if you permit me to use that word. So, being an athlete, we had 100 meters, we have marathon and whatever. So whether you like it or not, so many people will be presented as their candidates, either representing their universities or their halls of residence. So his own party decided to select him to run for their party. And they fought for him, and he emerged. So, simply put, even if there are 2, even if there are 20, we want to say that the parties saw them fit as far as their own processes is concerned. And that's why he came out as their own candidate. And the process continued persistently until he emerged. So he could have been any other person. But from all other things which you are saying now, he is the person that emerged.
All right, so now we've seen so many protests yesterday, and then we still see a lot of people saying that they will definitely go to the streets to protest peacefully with regards to how INEC handled the election, the collation, even up until this morning when the announcement was made. Now, let's start with that. Do you actually see any reason to protest or scream?
I think it is not out of place to protest. And again, they said peaceful protests underlined. What we are trying to say here is, you don't just go to the street and start destroying things, but rather the best place to go is the electoral tribunal, which is constitutional, and it is not out of place after an exercise like this.
So now, if we have to, judging from all that INEC did, starting from the electioneering process, because you don't only judge from the elections themselves, you actually start talking from the electioneering process. So if you have to judge or rate INEC's activities from scale 1 to 10, 1 being the highest and 10 being, or 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, what would be your result?
Well, we're all human beings. There's no perfect person. What happened is that I think I'll still rate them 7.
Oh, okay.
And my reasons being that, 1, there is a pre-election preparation that is during and after. They have done it. I think where virtually the arguments and whatever is coming is the upload, the export of the results, which was supposed to be done by the viewers, and it was manually done in some cases.
I hear you say it was supposed to be done by the beavers, but then we have I read a particular headline where the Senate president said that there was no transmission of results in the Electoral Act, that he read it and he saw it times without number.
Yes.
So it means Nigerians are just saying something else. And they always, even though the electoral umpire said they never promised that. And so does it actually mean that Nigerians didn't hear well, or this information came later on?
Fine. We are sitting in the studio together. Your position differs. What I can see, if I'm looking at you, I can see your back, you can see my back. So different people, different opinions. The same focus, the same problem, the same issue. So, but the most important thing is, if you have any issue, where are your facts? If the facts are authentic, you are good to go. But if they are not, you don't have anything to argue about.
Are you saying you have no issues with the elections?
Well,
and you have no reason to argue?
As a person, one thing I believe in is it, if I understand that French very well, what will come to be will ever come to be. If it is the will of God that things should come into being, there's nothing you can do. If it's not the will of God, there's nothing you can do about it. So I leave things to a natural course.
All right, so now that we already have a new president-elect, we'll talk about other stories and other underlying issues that the newspapers are carrying. But now that we have a new president-elect, what are your expectations from the new president-elect? But before you answer that, let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Mr. Mike, I'm calling from Abuja.
All right, Mr. Mike from Abuja. Go ahead. We can hear you. Mic is on. Please turn down the volume of your TV set first. All right, go ahead.
So how can result that is not uploaded? Hello, can you hear me now?
We can still hear ourselves from your TV.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Why should they announce results which have not been transmitted, online? Because I'm uploaded. Which results are they announcing then? If you didn't transmit results, which results are you announcing? It's a breach of the law, because the law says transmit first. If there's a problem with transmission, you hold on until the problem is specified before you announce. You don't announce when you have not transmitted. Is it not illegality?
All right.
There's a problem here. The law says transmit first and then announce. You didn't transmit, you go ahead and be announcing. What result are you announcing then? How can we believe you? It's incredible, you can believe this.
All right, thank you so much for that contribution. Very well listened to. Go ahead. Your expectations. We'll definitely take his response after you take your expectations.
Okay. Expectations are always very high, very tall and taller. One, we'll go into the aspect of the economy. But before we go there, we want to know and be satisfied that the political arena is stable. If there's no political stability, there can never be economic stability. And what I meant here is, one, this election fell to a period where, a lot of persons have no money to spend. Simply put, the cashless society or the policy we find ourselves in. People are finding it very difficult to even move, or if you want me to say that they can't even eat. So something should be done immediately, because if the people are not being catered for, it's like there could be some mixed reactions, like we're asking why reactions, why demonstrations and whatever. Even your children, if you are at home with them and they are not comfortable, at the time they will start crying. If they don't cry, they will start misbehaving. Therefore, one of the things is that we should look at our economic policies and political policies. They work hand in hand. Another area I want to look at is People can move not just because the money is not there, but the other thing there is people complain of scarcity of fuel, or where it is available, it is not easy to go by. There are so many microeconomic indices within the society which we have to look into deliberately, using our political will to match down whatever has to be stepped down for us to have a joyful, governance. The moment the people, the commoners, the masses are not comfortable, you can be adjudged as not performing at the optimum. Therefore, the masses has to be attended to.
So it has to be the masses first.
The masses first.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Abubakar Sadiq.
Where is Abubakar calling us from? Are you there?
I'm calling you from Katsina. Yes, I'm with you. I say I'm calling you from Katsina.
All right, go ahead, Abubakar from Katsina.
Yeah. For what happened for this election? I'm with you now. I'm with you. What is happening for this election? I don't see any problem with the election. And for me, the election is actually free and fair because of so many reasons. Look at what happened in Lagos State now. Lagos that is European. But Labour Party can't win Lagos State and nobody complain about it. I was really surprising how some people are complaining that election, they have this election. While when I look at almost all the top APC politicians lost their state.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. All right, before we go ahead, the first caller said, why are you releasing results that you've not transmitted? That's not credible. Do you agree with him?
Well, what does the law say? If the law says transmission before announcement, that means it is a bond, it's constitutional. If that is done, fine. If it is not done, it's an aberration. Are you getting it now? Was the transmission done? I'm not in their cyber. But peradventure it is not done. If it is done, because I was not done to the last minute, if it is done and it has been transmitted and that behoves on them to announce, that means they are correct. But then there should be some processes. What does the law say? Was it transmitted? Yes. If it is transmitted, the next thing can follow.
All right. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Chukwemeka. I'm calling from Delta State, Asaba.
Chukwemeka from Delta State. Good to have you on the show. Your mic is on.
Yeah. All right, I'm calling regarding this election of the day. Based on what is happening in Lagos State now, concerning Igbo and Yorubas. In Lagos State now, business Igbo men in Lagos State are not safe. Some shops are being burning down by Yorubas. I think Nigerian politicians should come into this matter and fix it so that Hausa will see an Igbo man as his brother. Yoruba person will see an Igbo person as his brother. Me, I'm not against any election, but I'm against this thing that is going on. By Hausa will not see Igbo as his brother, Yoruba will not see Igbo person as his brother. It's bringing a lot of shame and disgrace in our society. That is what I want to contribute. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution, Chukwemeka. Hello, good morning. All right. So if the last caller, Chukwemeka, says that we should not go into tribal wars and all of that, but I think it is actually wrong to say that it is the Yoruba people that are burning houses, because you might not be social at some point. All right, so let's take other stories, and this one talks about how other political party, like you have Labour Party, you have also the PDP, you also have NNPP, they all came together to ask that the INEC should stop the collation of the results, and then they're definitely going to hit the courts. And then you also have the APC presidential elect, who went immediately to ensure that, to prevent stoppage of result collation by INEC. Now, in all of this, now you have a lot of people keep asking that politicians, when during the campaigns, they were like divided. Everyone had one thing to say against the other party, and then when you ask them, they'll call it political jabs, political sentiments, or political buhaha. They always call it different names, but now they're united in one voice to talk about stoppage of the collation of results, or to talk about violence that happened during the elections. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I want to say that somebody said some years ago that in politics there's no permanent friend and there's no permanent enemy, and I think it's not a bad thing if they come together. All we have been clamoring for is their own togetherness and to speak with one voice. Maybe if they had done this before now, some of the problems we have had thus far wouldn't have been a thing to count on. But nevertheless, I said earlier that if anybody has anything, or if anybody is aggrieved, the person can go to the tribunal. That is a post-election process. There are 3 stages. Democracy itself is a process. We have pre, during, and after. So the ones we are mostly looking at for now is, having done the election, what happens after the election. That is the post. And like somebody would rightly advise you, I think it's the tribunal that will help us better to iron out some of the aggrieved issues.
So you see that, like we always say, the court or the judiciary is the last hope for the common man. And then even before all of this happened, we saw what happened in the Supreme Court with regards to the cash redesign. We also saw what happened with regards to Supreme Court judgment of Senator Ahmed Lawan, and then Senator Godswill Akpabio. And then we saw all that happen. So, and then Nigerians are still asking, is the judiciary still the last hope for the common man? Is that, do you actually see anything coming out from that in any time soon?
Well, if it's a language, something broader language. I mean, there's a tripod now. If those facts are still standing at their last hope, it is who you say you are that you are. What I mean here is that if you are responsible to your acts and your deeds, you are responsible. If you are not, there's a failure. So you judge for yourself. What does the law say? Thank God they are the lawyers. They are the lawmakers. Are they breaking the law or making the law? I mean, are they breaking the law or upholding the law? If it is being upheld correctly, nobody will have any reason blaming them. But if it is not, then we'll see the other side of the law being faltered.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Simon Odumakron. I'm calling for Ebonyi State.
All right, Simon from Ebonyi State. Turn down the volume of your TV set or move away from it.
Yeah. We don't like how they do this election. We don't like it.
Turn down the volume of your TV set, please. I might just have to let you go. Like I said, please turn down the volume of your TV set or move away from it so we can hear ourselves clearly. Now, in almost all the newspapers, even on the Vanguard, says polls, PDP, Labour Party, ADC demand INEC's chairman resignation. And coming from the INEC chairman, he said, all those asking for my resignation, that's just misplaced priorities. What are your thoughts on that one?
Okay. INEC is an institution, it's a commission established constitutionally to oversee the activities of the electoral process. He was either nominated or elected to be there to chairman or to oversee the election. So at least there's a due process by which he came onto that seat. What are such other negative channels at which he could be dropped? Simply put, what I'm trying to say is, yes, if you are wrong, you are wrong. If you are not wrong and you have your facts, nobody can pull you down. What I'm trying to say is, in essence, is if all that was expected of him as the chairman is done and done well, nobody can come and pull him down. At least he has some facts that he has done what he was mandated constitutionally to do. And if that stands, I think, of course, just like any other person, what is good to you may not be good to me. And what your opinions might be, positively or negatively, may not be the same with me, even in magnitude. So, of course, somebody will look for one reason or the other, like we heard one of our speakers. He said it's the Igbos against the Hausas. So somebody must be against somebody, especially in a heterogeneous country like ours. Somebody must have a reason. You must have a religious factor, ethnic factor, socio-cultural factor, to mention but a few.
But are we ever going to leave that side where we keep having this religious, ethnic, tribal, race, or social class sentiment? Are we ever going to give that corner?
Yeah, the issue is we should see electoral process or democracy as a process. Before now, we should be educating ourselves, just like he said. An Igbo man should be able to see how someone as his brother, vice versa. Or an Igala man seeing an Orobo person as part of him. So that when they cohabit together, there will be peaceful and harmonious coexistence. What we are saying here is, one, if I see you as part of me, whether you are Igbo, you are Kanuri, you are Bashama, it doesn't matter to me. First of all, we should be patriotic by saying, one, first of all, I'm a Nigerian and we are Nigerians. All other things secondary. I went moving towards the peaceful coexistence, and my mind went to NYSC. I think the people, the forefronters, the forefathers, never made that mistake in creating or establishing NYSC to foster integration. So more efforts should be made towards our being integrated. Whether we like it or not, along religious divide, ethnic, or other factors, we are divided. But the problem is, how can we have a resolve in bringing those differences into a common market that we can trade together for the peace of the land? It's possible.
I quite agree with you. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Abubakar Sadiq. I just come back.
Go ahead, we can hear you.
I was talking before, so the network comfort of the call.
Go ahead.
What I'm saying that time is that, you know, the way this election takes place, there is a lot of... Are you with me?
Go ahead, Abubakar, we can hear you.
I said, what I'm trying to say is, like what that man called, what that man talked about, the issue of that ethnicity and religious or whatever, you know, this country has actually gone very, very, very far about that issue. Because let me give you an example, like how people are insulting people on social media about the issue of this election. When he said that you are not going to vote for Labour Party, they will be insulting you, calling you with different bad names. You see, that kind of thing is actually no good. Okay. Because election is by choice. Everybody,
but I think, Abubakar, I think you've actually profiled people, saying that Igbo are the ones that are cussing. There's no point profiling anybody. So let's just let that slide. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling from Ebonyi State. My name is Chukuma Solo.
Go ahead, Mr. Chukuma.
The way they do the election, we don't like it. I'm complaining that result is not it's not normal result because we are watching that result the day before yesterday. So the result is nowhere as they announce it. So let the chief INEC revise the result before anything starts happening.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Chukuma, for your contribution. Very well said. All right. So now you have people like the caller that called before now saying that Igbos are the ones that are cursing people. But then we still have that mentality of it is this tribe that are... Why do you always have to put a name or put a tribe to it? Why do you always have to believe that it is only the Igbos or only the Yorubas that are causing the trouble in Lagos, and then only the Igbos are causing the trouble around, or only the Hausas? Are we ever going to get past that at all, even from ourselves as an individual?
Fine. And I'll start by you're saying even from ourselves as individuals. If you talk about the Igbos, some are from Anambra, Enugu, Ebonyi, Abia, Imo, to mention but a few, which I'm very convinced that some of them don't even understand the languages of the next place. Simply put, the Igbos are conglomerations of other Igbo, persons or dialects. If you go to Yoruba land too, even in Ogun State, you have the Egbas and the, I'll remember, Ijebus. These people are conglomerates of, when in Ijebu, you have Ijebu Ilesson, you have Ijebu Ode, and so many Ijebus. And if you go to Egba, you have Abeokuta, you have Ilaro, or whatever. What we are saying here is, nobody has that originality. And there's nobody who doesn't have that originality. It's a commonwealth of all of us coming together. And just like I was saying, until we say, everybody knows a typical Igbo man to be a business person. And he's always focused about his economy. And he doesn't compromise with his economy. So, and a person who is a 100% a businessman does not easily compromise. So if you are not a compromising type, you may not be put on the lead to lead the people. And secondly, if you say the Yorubas, every ethnic group in this country has their own cultural or traditional background. And there are some core values they hold in esteem, which they don't compromise with. I went to school in Yoruba land, so I know what I'm saying. Simply put, somebody was saying we have gone far beyond that. Yes, even if we have gone far beyond that, a Yoruba man is still a Yoruba man. A thief man is still a thief man. And a Edo person is still an Edo person. Until we come to the same common table to say, okay, can we do it like this? And we agree within ourselves.
Are we supposed to bring ourselves together?
Of course. It's a continuous, even at the, don't you do family meetings? You say, let it begin from yourself. That change we are talking about starts from you as an individual.
So I'm supposed to like bring other people together,
Sure.
or we have our traditional leaders and religious leaders bring people together.
That is another stage where you bring people together. When you bring yourself together, guys, we are from Edo, but that does not mean we cannot accommodate the
Ibibios.
The Ibibios. Let's do the best we can. If I even say the Ibibios, they say they are still in the south. Let's go to the north. Let's go to the north where we have the Babru Bra people, Southern Borno. They are part of us. So let's do something that will bring all of us together for the unity and peace, progress of this country. We need sensitization. And if we need sensitization, it's a deliberate thing we have to do, not just lip service.
Just paying lip service and just saying Nigeria, one people, one nation.
It's not the best. Let's be sincere about it.
All
and
right.
whatever is good for one ethnic group, let it be better for the other ethnic group.
I quite agree with that. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Happy New Month.
Oh, that's true. Happy New Month to you, sir.
Thank you very much. I want to say one or two things. My regard to your analyst. I now declare Tinubu winner. I'm not so excited by the result because anything done outside the process can never be right. What INEC promised us repeatedly was that they were going to use the beavers, which the results will be offloaded into the INEC portal. But unfortunately, that was not done. However, I will advise Nigeria to keep their gunpowder dry because I know that very soon there is going to be gymnastic legal battle. We must have Nigeria anyway. You see, the international observers also alluded to the fact that the election did not pass through the integrity test. I don't know what went wrong because we have been praying to God to transform our electoral officials into impartial and incorruptible umpires. To fill them with the spirit of patriotism, justice, fairness, so that they may conduct free and fair and credible elections. But what are we saying? We are saying that it was not credible. You see, Nigerians are disappointed with what happened during this election. And in my own opinion, it's a rape. Underline what? Rape to the Nigerian democracy and rape to the youth. Today, can we now beat our chest and tell the international community that we have done the right thing, in spite of the money that INEC chairman collected, billions of naira. Today, the INEC chairman is dancing around the circle, telling us that he conducted the election. Is that how we are going to go on in this country? God bless our country, Nigeria. God bless your station. God bless all of you.
God bless Chief Ario calling us from Kaduna. Thank you so much for that contribution. Hello, good morning. Are you there? Okay. All right. So now Chief Ario says that this is actually a rape to Nigeria's democracy, the youth. Do you agree with that?
For my linguistic background, if you say a rape, it then means something that was not intentionally concession of the other person, and you took advantage. Well, when something is a rape, it's like you are boxing that person when that person is not ready. When if it's a rape, it's like it's not it. All we are saying here is, like he has alluded, he said, what does the law say? It has to be uploaded before the announcement. If that is done, we are free. But if that is not done, then we have more questions than answers. And he is saying too well that, of course, nobody says people shouldn't react. But like you are saying now, that this issue of sensitization, no matter how the issue may have hurt some people, so many grievances, we should be able to let go and do things peaceably, not in going about destroying, goods and properties, or even people's life going. I think it will be a very good thing to do, so that we still have our lives. Because if anybody is gone, I tell people a minus is a minus. From your family, if anybody is dead, is a minus. From your ethnic group, if somebody is gone, from your nation, if 1 or 2 persons are gone, is a minus. From your population, if only we can value it. So we still should maintain peace and harmony, no matter the situation.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Odumamunde. I'm coming from Ebonyi State.
All right. Go ahead, sir. Okay. Your mic is on.
Yeah, I thank God the way the election have already done. But initially, we are Nigerian. We promised that the election should be done free and fair. But what we are seeing now is just the election is just doing camouflaging, and the way we saw the calling of the position of the election result is not good to see. And I'm saying that the election was done by camouflaging, in the sense that it was doing by Nigerian law, because the way we are seeing now, we are not happy, and we should cancel the election to do it free and fair as we have promised before. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Okay, so he says that the election should be cancelled, and then we have some other political parties, Labour Party, PDP, and some other parties asking for cancellation. Do they have any reason to make such statements, even seeing that according to them, they say you have in some places there were pockets of violence during the elections, and then there were ballot snatching, there were overvoting in some places?
Thank you. No, I'm not here to defend any institution or commission per se. But I think the intention of the commission, that is INEC, in introducing the beavers, was to make sure that this issue of ballot box snatching is eliminated, if not reduced to the barest minimum. Reasons being that, like one of our contributors said, the ideal thing is, if you use that beavers and you transmit, already the result has gone. So even if anybody comes for the machine, it's as good as saying, take it now, go with it. The original function primarily has been done. Now, if we are to agree, I'm not trying to speak for the taxpayers in this country. Money, if it then is as good as saying now that if we want to go into election again, I'm thinking conservatively. We will pump in another billions, and we're dealing with human beings. how are you sure that the behavior of the same human being will change and will get the rightful thing? Peradventure, we even decide to go into another election. That is another one. Like we said earlier, they said the change will start from you. How do you feel when somebody repairs your car? Maybe you change the engine. They say the engine is knocked. How are you sure that he will agree for that 150,000 again? He will add much more because he will tell you there are one or two things.
You need to add oil or something.
Yes. So what we're trying to say is they are not bad suggestions. But let's say the truth to ourselves. Is it doing it again that makes it better? Have we not been doing it? Or we should look for other cogent reasons why some of these things are raising their ugly heads again. Is it religious dimension? How do we address them? Do we go to our religious leaders? Is it ethnic? Do we go to our traditional fathers and say, this is the problem? How do we play this ball gently to score the goals? And other reasons. Now, it behoves on us. If you say political parties are getting these things done, they should have a kind of accord, which they told us they had.
The peace accord.
The peace accord. What happens to it? Who denied it? Who abused it?
Does it mean that some people don't even know what they were signing into?
It's likely to be. Because at times, because this person is doing, I'm doing it. Some don't know the implication. Apologies to the people who signed it. But I want to believe that if you know the meaning, it's a bond that you will not go beyond this limit. But some people overstepped their bounds. So what we're trying to say is, just like I say, is it possible that some people don't? Yes, I will say categorically that some don't even know the content of what they were signing. But because they said it is a meeting, let us all go and sign.
Oh, wow.
So even at that point, we need education, we need sensitization, we need to be schooled if need be.
Oh, wow. All right, so Nigerian pilot says illegitimate government, and that's what they're screaming on. And they write that story says opposition political parties raise alarm, say INEC preparing ground for illegitimate government, declare that last weekend's presidential election was a sham, neither free nor fair, say result collated by INEC without first being transmitted electronically breach Electoral Act, and insist that result not transmitted direct from polling unit remain illegal and of no consequence. Now, having people say that the INEC is actually, the opposition party saying that that INEC is actually bringing in an illegitimate government, isn't that already an inciting statement?
Yeah.
Let's get this caller first. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, KAFTAN TV.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling from Yola. I'm Mr. Gabriel from Yola.
All right, Mr. Gabriel from Yola. Go ahead. Your mic is on.
In this, I'm going to talk about INEC. The way they conducted the election, we Nigerians have been disappointed by them. Frankly speaking, if there are ways that they need to be investigated, the whole INEC system, they need to investigate their activities so that anybody who is involved then has to face the consequences of the law. So
All right.
what I'm appealing for Nigerians, we need to be calm. There's no need of creating unnecessary chaos or violence. Let's wait and see what Nigerians will do about it.
All right.
It is to go to court, the channel the whole issue to court.
All right.
And we wait and hear the outcomes of the case. But me personally, I've been disappointed by INEC. And for any INEC board to come, hello?
We can hear you. Please conclude.
For any INEC chairman to be appointed, there is need for government to know the background of the person to be appointed. Is he having a good quality or not? It's not just because you are learning, a professor, a doctor, or somebody. What we need is good character.
All right.
So that the person that will not come and betray us, Nigeria, we are disappointed.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Gabriel from Yola. Thank you so much. Your point is very well taken. Hello, good morning. All right, I think we missed that call. All right, illegitimate government. Now, actually, before the administration starts, the opposition party are already calling them illegitimate. What are your thoughts on that?
If you say something is illegitimate, it's as good as saying it's illegal. And if there's anything like treason, it's something very funny. But then, how can we judge this? What are the facts that we have? Yes, I will allude to the fact that we are saying now that these things were not uploaded, so we don't have an accuracy of what we were supposed to have in the cyber. But what if INEC comes out now and saying these are my facts? It then underturns or overturns whatever facts we have as individuals. Like I told you earlier, if collations are done and you are not there, you may not be able to give a standing fact per se. But then, like this person appealed, let us be calm. Whatever grievances we have the tribunal. Let us go to the tribunal. That is a constitutional process of settling your grievances and not just going to the street, burning down houses and killing of individuals. Violence, we should do the best we can. We are not animals. Violence should be the last thing to happen. Don't even allow it to even be recorded. Especially when people have to lose their lives and properties.
Yeah, properties. I agree. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from. All right. You need to turn down the volume of your TV set so you can get feedback.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. The annual chairman really showed that it's not working for Nigeria. It's a member of the APC that appointed, so he's working for the people of APC. So it's not working for Nigeria. So he's correcting all those barrels, all those posting is not the Nigerian truth. Any chairman has people that sit down at the correction center and post another one, then they throw away they put that Nigerian post, then they bring the one that their people in there. If all those food is Agmoro food, it's not Nigerian food. So they have to need to become so then they know the real food that Nigerian needs.
Right.
They need to be put that walk through it because not the one that they do inside the room or inside the room. That is Turumbo and APC. So
all right, thank you so much. All right, thank you so much for your contribution. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
This is Mr. Chuma.
All right, go ahead. Less than 60 seconds. Let's hear you.
What I see in this result is that this one they call free and fair election is not a free and fair election. And what I see is that because of the APC in power, that is why they regulated that election. So it's not a free and fair election as I'm seeing. Even the other votes we are doing before, better more than this. So that machine they are using, even the machine in our police unit, it's not working normally. Many people cannot vote because of that machine. So the way they regulate this election because of APC in power. So we are not doing fair and fair election. We don't have to cancel the election. We don't accept this. There is nothing like election we do for Nigeria. There is nothing like election. The election is not fair and fair.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Chukuma.
You know that there is nothing like free and fair. Now they do 419 Nigeria more than other election. What I see.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chukuma. Your point is noted.
Is a electrical machine that is a free and fair. There is nothing free and fair in that election.
Thank you so much. You've actually made your point. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm Mr. Kenneth, calling you from Edo State.
All right, Kenneth from Edo State. Go ahead.
You see, the man in the studio, please, I want him to be frank himself. You know, it's not all issues that we should be, trying to be politically correct. The kind of system that Nigeria seems to be operating on, is a kind of system that, that brings out, this, every time people keep on telling us to be patriotic to Nigeria. But the system that Nigeria are giving to us back, for example, we were deceived. This momentum were created that we should go and register for PVC so that our vote will count. Person like me, for my life, I've never voted before, but because of this, encouragement from INEC, I went and I even make sure that I mobilize many people.
All right.
There is this person that that does not even worth, talking about as a human being. I was telling you that Nigeria election is nothing. Why are you discussing me about it?
All right. Thank you so much.
This man has, what he said at that time now has become a reality, because if you promise people one thing and do something, different, it means that, you are bringing a kind of an attitude that is unpatriotic to the youth, and you will see a kind of disobedience and all this kind of thing happening in the land. So, people should be confused.
All right, thank you so much. We just have to let you go. Thank you. Your point is well noted. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Our last caller for today.
My name is Mr. Isaac. I'm calling from Kaba.
All right, Isaac from Kaba. Go ahead. You have less than 60 seconds.
Yeah, what I want to say concerning this election is that in Nigeria, hello?
Go ahead.
In Nigeria, there is nothing that you do that will please anybody. Even if it is the person that they want to win and that person, people will still complaining. Since we have been did election in Nigeria, I see this election as the best election so far.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that contribution. Okay, so our phone line's actually buzzing. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I am Francis calling from Nasarawa State.
All right, Francis from Nasarawa State. Go ahead. Your mic is on.
Okay. What I just want to say is that the federal government of Nigeria and the INEC has succeeded in enthroning the culture of voter apathy again in Nigeria. And it is very, very obvious and explicit that the government that is about to take over from Muhammadu Buhari, Muhammadu Buhari, is a government that lacks legitimacy, lacks the support of the people.
Hello, are you there?
Because of what happened, they will lack the support and cooperation of most Nigerians. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that contribution. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning. All right, so let's get your concluding thoughts on all that has been said today, the new president-elect, and then even though we have in some other papers like Blueprint newspapers says ex-president meddlesome cannot thwart choice of millions of Nigerians. That's he's actually referring to former President Obasanjo. And then you also have the federal government saying that let the aggrieved seek legal address, and then tells President former President Olusegun Obasanjo that his statement is partisan. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, thank you. You're mentioning Obasanjo says he's an ex-president. That means he's a stakeholder. Not just a stakeholder, just like we had other presidents like Kuruma, who came from Sierra Leone. The same way there are occasions that Obasanjo goes to other countries. It's done. And what we are trying to say, he's submitting his own opinion. And like you're asking me, what is my submission? It is good for us to live in peace and harmony no matter what. And if the history of electoral processes in Nigeria is to be chronicled, there is none that is violent free. And what I'm saying is, check, is it First Republic? Is it Second Republic? And we are in another one. All I'm pleading with all Nigerians is we should cooperate with ourselves. Instead of looking for a way of scattering ourselves, we should forge ourselves in a manner that we can still speak in one voice, despite our seemingly differences. And I'm still saying that whatever be the mistake, yes, we all err. It's only God that is perfect. We should point it out and we should address it the way it should be addressed. And I'm saying too well that, nevertheless, I want to congratulate Nigerians because we are not carrying guns or whatever, killing ourselves. And I want to thank everybody who took part in this election. As an individual, as states, as institutions, observers, lobbyists, whoever, that we have all done well. But if we are to separate the mistakes, we should do it gently so that it will not cause, and legally, so that it will not cause any breakdown of law and all that.
Thank you so much for your time with us, Dr. Samuel Ono. It's been a wonderful time having this talk with you.
It's my pleasure.
All right, viewers, we've been chatting with Dr. Samuel Ono. He is a public affairs analyst, and it's been a wonderful time having this conversation. Now, that's where we draw the curtain on this segment of the show. As we go straight to our social media, and this one is coming from Prince Adewale Adebayo. He said, he tweeted and said that Chinua Achebe was right, that leadership is the problem of Nigeria. Where are the true leaders? Same drama every election year is not progress. At Goodluck Ebele Jonathan saved us in 2015. It is now time for at Atiku and at Peter Obi to show that they love Nigeria. Time to call at official Abat is now. I have more grievances than all the presidential candidates combined. I'm least satisfied with the result. I'm dissatisfied with the choice of electorate. It is the prerogative of people to make unwise choices, but the choice is clear. We can be more honest all around. All right, so we'll take other tweets, and then this one is coming from the son of MC Oluomo. That's the group leader of NURTW in Lagos. He said, he went to social media and said that now we get Lagos, now we get Nigeria. Control. Does anyone own Lagos? All right, he follow tweeted that and said that free announcement for those at the back. Sanwo-Olu is going to be elected for second term. If you like, go and pack everyone in your village to come and vote. There is no promo during the governorship elections. For those of you that attended Tunde Ednot School of Politics, you can choose to remain ignorant to the fact that politics is not for the faint-hearted. Obi is a boy. I'm even smarter than him. Well, that's actually an indicting statement. I do not expect such statement from people like him. All right, let's take another tweet coming from Senator Shehu Sani. He says some communities in the northwest ravaged by terrorists and bandits were brought over to vote after being shared packets of spaghetti and indomie. In the absence of cash, they literally ate their freedom. Wow. Okay, so we'll take another one coming from Ali Baba GCFR. He says, see why women run away from politics. Women don't want to be part of the flaw of a flawed system or like to be in a position of service, and the few women who brave it are actually frustrated out. Hashtag INEC, hashtag elections, hashtag voters, hashtag campaigns, hashtag politics, hashtag Nigeria, hashtag government. And Lequatius Bosse actually responded and say, I'm in the system and I am mad right now. So you are on point. Okay, let's take a video from we saw the police actually picked up some people who are syndicates of beavers manipulation here in the city of Abuja. We'll take that video, and then we'll take the last video from APC as they jubilate even when they were announced, Bola Ahmed Tinubu was announced as president-elect. We'll take all that and then we'll come to conclude on this press.
It's hereby declared the winner, and is returned elected.
Look at my people.
In the Electoral Act that we passed, there is nothing like electronic transmission, because transmission is when you vote and it goes to the server. What we have passed, and I can recollect this vividly because I read that act when it was a bill several times, is to transfer, after all the paperwork that we normally do are done, the agents and everybody there, security, everybody will have the papers. INEC will snap or scan or snap the result sheet and transmit or transfer.
All right, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for calling. I still see your calls, but I'm sorry, that's all we have for this package for today. But do call us tomorrow again, and I assure you I will pick your calls. I'll see you again tomorrow from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Annabel Oji. Whatever you do, stay safe. God bless Nigeria.